Welcome to Introduction to Geographic Information Systems. This, and the other learning resources in this course have been made possible by funding from the European Commission's Erasmus Plus program. Now that we have digitized parts of the map of Nafplio and we have a vector layer to work with. In our case, it is the churches from the original plan of the city. If you click off the other layers you can see them. However, let's open up the attributes table and see what data we have. Nothing, because we need to add that information. You can source information from anywhere and attach it to any layer in a GIS, which is what makes it so powerful. Today, though, we are going to make up some data because this is just a practice exercise. The easiest data to import is delimited data. The most common file form of that is called comma-separated values. You have likely come across this before, and it is a simple text file that separates out the data it stores by, as the name implies, commas. You can create these files in different programs such as Excel or LibreOffice. I'm going to use Excel, but any spreadsheet software will work. The steps are pretty much the same if you are using LibreOffice or any other program. I will label 3 columns. The first column I will call ID, and I am going to put in the ID numbers I gave the different churches. I erased one of my features so the IDs jump from 5 to 7. Use the IDs you created in the last exercise. Next, I am going to create a column called Color. I'm going to then add colors to it. You can add whatever colors you want, but 2 should at least be the same. Finally, I am going to add a column called Heritage Importance. I am then going to add 2 possible results. Either local or national. If you remember back to some of the earlier videos, this label data is called nominal data. You can have hundreds of columns, if you want, covering any topic. You can include any of the data types we have previously discussed, such as nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. To convert this spreadsheet from an Excel file format to CSV, we just have to save it as such. That is what you do for most spreadsheet programs. I'm going to save it in our data folder. I am giving it an easy to remember name, church data. Now I will select the type of file to save it as, CSV. Now, let's go back to QGIS to import it. Go to the menu and click the Open Data Source Manager. Go to the Delimited Menu tab. This will bring up the Import menu. Select the file to import. There are a few other settings. If you have a file that delimits by something other than commas, you can set it to take account of that. Choose the name of the layer. We are going to call this church data. Click on the geometry definition. Our data does not have any coordinates, so choose No Geometry. You should see a preview of the data. Check to make sure it is correct. Click Add. You will see it in the layers. Now close the adding layer. However, it is not attached to any geographic features, so let's join it to one. Right-click on the churches layer, the layer we want to add it to. Then select Properties. Now go to Joins. Click the green plus mark. To join the tables, you need to have columns in your data table and in the layer that have the same values, so it knows which data belongs to which features. We have used unique IDs, which makes this easy. Make sure the join layer is set to our imported data and not any other layer. Choose both ID columns. Make sure the Cache checkbox is ticked so it adds it temporarily. Now join. Check the attributes table, you will see it has been added. However, this is temporary, so you need to save it. Right-click and choose Export. Choose the location to save it to in the name. Choose the coordinate system to be the same as the project's. Choose the type of vector, in our case we will keep it the same lines. Make sure the Add Layer checkbox box is ticked so it adds it to our layers. Click OK. We now have a data layer with attributes attached to it. Turn off the other layers to see it. Check out the attributes table. Also use the Identify Features tool to look at individual features. You can see the attached data. If you want, you can also edit the attributes directly in QGIS. Open the Attributes table and toggle the Edit button on. You can then edit the cells. Change the values of a cell and then click Save Edits. You can also add or remove columns. Click the Add Field button to add a column. Choose the name and the type of data, such as a number or string. Use the Remove Field button to choose which field to remove. This works best for 1 or 2 edits or when you have small amounts of data. However, if you have lots of data, it is, in general, easier to edit the data in a spreadsheet and then import it. Having attributes in the data will be quite helpful for the next exercise.